Hey guys, Joe here, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Red. In the last episode, we completely shattered Lieutenant Surge's dreams of his American hero past, and he went through Diglett's cave and got the HM05 for Flash after capturing Diglett. This time, we're going to be taking a little detour through an old route, and also going through a brand new route to get towards Rock Tunnel. But before that, I have never actually shown what this does. If you access Bill's PC here, you can withdraw, deposit, release, or change box, which is a weird mechanic. But what we're doing is we are going to deposit our Diglett because we have no use for him at the moment. So Diglett was stored in box 1. If you go to change box, you can... oh, data will be saved. Yeah, okay, so apparently data gets saved as you change boxes. So these are all the boxes that you can access. These boxes contain all of the different Pokemon you capture throughout the game if you have more than 6 Pokemon. So currently we are in box 1, but if we go to something like box 7, then the game gets saved and we're now in box 7. So whenever we deposit a Pokemon, it will be sent to box 7. Anyway, we're going to go to box 1 because obviously that's the one that Diglett's in, and we can always withdraw it at any time. But right now, we have no need for that. I just wanted to show that because I haven't had a chance to show it yet. So today, we are going to head... We're going to head right from Vermilion City properly now. Now that we've explored Diglett's cave for all of its worth, we're now going to tackle on some more trainers in this route. Starting with this guy. Off screen, nothing happened, although while I went through Diglett's cave, Gloom did level up one more time. And it's time for the reappearance of Nidoking. It's been a while since they've actually used Nidoking. It's actually been much longer than I thought it had been. And his moveset has changed a lot since we last saw him, now with Thrash, Thunderbolt, Body Slam and Poison Sting. So he has a brand new moveset, and I'm excited to get to using it, because it's been too long since I've had a chance to use Nidoking, and damn, he's going to completely fully thrash this entire route, quite literally, because he has the move Thrash. I'm not funny. Let's go take on all these trainers and we'll level up a bunch. In this route, I believe we went in here briefly to catch Drowsy. I nearly called it Drewsy. Drewsy, what can Drewsy is just that is a weird name. So I believe I've already gone over the new things that you can catch in here, so we're not going to go all about it. We're just going to try and beat this guy as quickly as possible, so we can move on to the actual route that we're going to be tackling on in this video. But I don't want to leave any route unturned. I want to try and battle all the trainers I can to show off all of the little secrets or little trainers in the game that I can. So we're going to get Nidoking a little bit of training since he hasn't seen much of the sun. Recently. We're going to get over to level 28 and then we'll probably go and just switch it back to Charmeleon because I feel like I want to get my starter up a bit higher level. I mean, he's currently the highest level on my team, but what is that sprite? Like, he's the highest level in my team, but I feel like I want him to be, like, even more higher. Like, probably someone like the 30s would be ideal. That would be that would be perfect, personally. Like, him being the first Pokemon to reach level 30 would be perfect. All these guys are going to use some different Pokemon, so all of your team should see some action here. Although if you have a Nidoking, it basically will do everything you want it to and more, because of its diverse moveset. By this point, you could have also given it Bubble Beam, Thunderbolt. You can't give it Dig for some reason, which is completely stupid. But there are plenty of moves you can give it, which make it an interesting Pokemon. And yeah, you can pretty much use a variety of Pokemon here, and it's a really nice place to train if you're having trouble with Lieutenant Surge. The Pokemon here are decently leveled and give you some pretty good experience. So if you are struggling with Surge, which I know can be difficult for some people, especially if you started with War Turtle, it can be pretty challenging. That didn't kill it. That's unfortunate. There we go. So if you're in need of some more experience, this is a great place to come. Alright, Nidoking's seeing a good bit of light now. Now it's time to switch him out for our good pal Charmeleon. It's been a bit since we've probably tried to use Charmeleon, so hopefully we can get him some good levels going around here. Competition! I can't get enough! Yeah, let's go! Competition! Yeah! And what kind of Pokemon does this really competitive, really weird bald guy with some kind of clown costume have? Bellsprout! Perfect! I don't know if have we seen a Bellsprout? No, we have seen a Bellsprout. I was wondering if we'd like seen one in a trainer battle wrong, because obviously we couldn't see one in the wild. That didn't kill it. What? Excuse me? Okay, Charmeleon, you really need experience if you're not one-shotting Bellsprouts by this point with fire attacks. Like, that's concerning. The fact that you're not able to one-shot things that's in the grass type is a little concerning to me, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I was wondering if we'd actually seen a Bellsprout at all, but we definitely have, because trainers have had them. I was just saying that we obviously couldn't see a wild one because we're playing Pokemon Red, and in Pokemon Red, the only Pokemon we obtain in the grass are Oddish, not Bellsprout. There's a fair few more trainers to fight. Let's go for them. I've never won before. So this guy's never won before. Unfortunately, he's probably not going to win against me either. I don't really know why he hasn't won before either, though, because he has some pretty neat Pokemon. He has a Growlithe for one, which is a really nice fire type. I love Growlithe so much. And I believe I can actually get Growlithe in this game if I wanted to, but I'm not going to be using one, obviously, because I already have Charmeleon, and that's a perfectly good fire type, despite its Ember being potentially just. What is that Vulpix sprite? Like, I've never seen that sprite before. Look at it. Mainly its face. Like, I mean, it's a fox, sure, but it really. It looks nothing like what it does now, especially in the face. Like now its face looks much more tidier and much more neater. We have a lot more oh no. Alright. But this guy's the best in his class. Let's take him out. Mr. Youngster wants to fight, and he has 3 Pokemon. 3 Pokemon, actually. We don't see many standard trainers with 3 Pokemon. 2 Pokemon, sure, but we don't see many standard trainers with 3 anymore, so it's quite nice to actually see some people who have fairly decent amount of Pokemon to them. Unfortunately, the roster of these 3 Pokemon leaves a lot to be thought of. How are you able to one-shot Rattatas, but you can't one-shot a super effective Bellsprout? If you one-shot this thing with Ember, we're gonna have. I'm gonna be confused, Charmeleon. Okay, yeah, that's good. I would have been a little confused if he could one-shot this, but couldn't one-shot a Bellsprout. Regardless, we beat him. Darn, I need to make my Pokemon stronger. You need to catch something that isn't a Rattata. Because you have Raticate, but oh well. I have never lost a battle. I am the king of all the gamblers. Yep, they're actually gamblers, like straight up. Their training class is Gambler. For a kids game, that's something else. Anyway, I believe they actually. I think at the in the remakes they changed Gambler to Gamer. So I think all of the gamblers got changed to gamers, which makes complete sense. I mean, you could associate them with video gamers, sure, but I mean, it mostly means just people who play games. So I mean, gamblers are technically still playing games. It's just their games are well, less child-friendly, I guess. One thing I need to keep reminding myself is that the Steel and Dark types didn't exist in this version of the game. I mean, not that that matters for Dark type, because I don't think there were any Gen 1, there wasn't any Pokemon in Generation 1 that were a Ground type. I mean, a Dark Ground type? A Dark type. But, Steel type, Magnemite was originally Magnemite was a Steel type Pokemon, but in this game it's just pure Electric. So that's something I need to keep reminding myself. If we click on this, we find a secret escape rope, which we might be able to use later to escape from a dungeon. Nothing else in this little area. There might be some. I'm pretty sure there are still some trainers in the grass down below that I haven't tackled yet, though. For example, you. Watch out for live wires! Oh no, not the live wires. And yep, more people. What the heck is that sprite? The sprites are getting weirder and weirder, and this is why I would love Magnemite to be a Steel type, because Fire would be very effective here. But it should still be moderately effective. The good thing about Magnemite not being a Steel type in this game is that I can actually hit it with normal type moves. So Mega Punch actually does decent damage in this version. whereas in Fire Red and Leaf Green it wouldn't do much damage at all because it's a Steel type. So I'm going to try out Mega Punch real quick because I want to see how much damage it does in comparison to how much Ember did. Okay, it was a critical, but that was, I don't even know if I needed the critical. Magneton. This is its evolution. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. I really like Magneton. I really do like it, and I would love to use it more often. Maybe if we do another Pokemon playthrough in the future, we can use a Magneton. But at least for now, we won't be using one. That's a lot of damage. Then again, I guess it's expected from an evolved Pokemon. Does get you a lot of experience though. 621. Definitely fight this guy if you're struggling for experience. It'll be good training against Electric type, and also just in general, good experience. Careful, I'm laying down some cables. Why is everyone here laying down cables on live wires? Why is that the theme of this route? And yep, this guy also has a Magnemite. So we're gonna go for the Mega Punch. Dang. I was hoping for a one-shot kill, but I guess that was too much to hope for. Let's just go for the Ember and finish it off. 400 experience, and we get to level 30. Charmeleon is the first Pokemon in my party to reach level 30. Kind of necessary, to be honest, because its stats seem to suck in comparison to the rest of my team. Haven't used Hypno in a good while, so we're going to go through it now. I don't know if that's all the trainers. Oh no. I believe, yeah, that's all the trainers. Alright, so with that, we can now progress back to Cerulean City. And we can... Wait, did I battle you? Yeah, okay, I did. We're going to head back to Cerulean City now, and we are going to begin our trek towards the next area. So, I'll meet you guys back when I'm in Cerulean City. Okay, before we move on to Cerulean, there's one thing that I would recommend you do. Well, first off, you should heal, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the bike shop, because if you remember from the guy in the Vermilion City Pokemon Fan Club, we now have the Bike Voucher, and for that we get the 1 million Pokédollar bike for completely free. And we are definitely going to be using that because I think the bike is very useful in this game. In most modern games you don't need to use it as much because of the the ability to run, because you have the running shoes and things. In this game, you don't have the luxury of that, so using the bike is much more beneficial, and is basically the equivalent of the running shoes. So, we're going to keep that on. Anyway, what we're actually going to be doing is heading right over to the route to the side, because we haven't been here yet. Cut down this tree, and let's advance. I like how the bike music plays even if you go into another route. I'm pretty sure in the in the future games the bike theme actually doesn't stay if you go into another route, which is kind of unfortunate because I kind of wish the bike theme did stay as you traveled from route to route. Because like I feel like as long as you're on your bike, the music should be playing. It's a really nice theme, and I love it whenever it's used. Okay, Hypno does deserve that level up, because he didn't level up at all from the battle with Lieutenant Surge. He's just kind of been on like the edge of leveling up and just hasn't had it yet. I actually wish I checked how much he probably needed, because he probably didn't need too much to level up after all the experience he gained from Surge. But we're now starting a long trek towards the Rock Tunnel, and Rock Tunnel will be its own video for sure, because that will probably take me a little bit to get through. But we're going to go through these two routes in this one video, so it's a whole video about training and me probably fumbling over my words trying to explain everything. But we got to get a lot of training done because the game only gets harder from here. Going down here we can pick up the TM30, and I don't remember what that is, so let's quickly check it out. TM30 contains the move Teleport. You know what I'm going to do with that? You want to know what move that is in the remakes? I know exactly what move that is in the remakes. The move in the remakes is Aerial Ace. You want to know what Aerial Ace does? It's like a 60 power unmissable flying type attack. And in this game, it's Teleport, a move that Abra learns as soon as you catch it and is useless, basically. So, yeah, try and think of which one's better. I mean, Teleport can be useful because you can use it to, like, you can use it as a field move similar to Cut to get back to the last Pokemon Center you visited, so it's nice in that way. But just in regular stuff, oh no, the Bike Beam does play after the battle. Oh, why doesn't it? Why? Why don't the regular games do this? But anyway, as I was saying, like, yeah, Teleport. It's not that useful. It's useful as a field move if you just happen to have an Abra on your team, sure, but I mean, Abra's already come with the move, so why do you need a TM for it? So I was really hoping for something a bit more interesting, but you can't choose it. So while we're here, I'm gonna quickly try out this new move we got for Hypno recently. I don't want to switch, we want to try this out. So Charmeleon, level 21, we're gonna go for a Hypnosis. We do hit it, which is fantastic, that's actually quite rare. And we're gonna use Dream Eater. Boom. One shot KO. If we had actually lost any HP, then the health would be absorbed back into my current health. But because our health is full, that won't happen. Next on my list is Gloom. Because the ability to evolve Gloom is coming up soon, and its best move is still Absorb. I know for a fact that it learns better moves than that. So I'm hoping before we get to the ability to evolve Gloom that we're going to be able to learn those moves. If not, then it's staying as a Gloom until I get those moves. This guy's actually going to be a pretty decent peak for experience because he's going to have 2 Beedrills. I mean, already looking at Beedrill's sprite, that thing looks fierce. Like, it looks massive, which works because I mean in the anime this thing is a very feared creature. I mean, in the first few episodes we saw Ash and everyone run away from it constantly, so I mean it is actually kind of nice that it's that it looks as fierce as it did here. So it is actually quite nice. But yeah, I mean these things are as good as they get for experience. So we kill it here, let's see how much we get. Level 19 Beedrill, 646 experience, and guess what, he has another one. So just from this trainer alone, if you battle this guy with like one of your underlevel Pokemons, Beedrill can't hit super hard. I mean, it's going to use Fury Attack, which is multiple times, but I mean, especially if you have like a Geodude or Graveler that you want to train up, I mean, definitely bring it here because it will level up extremely fast. Because just from the Beedrills here, you're going to get over 1,000 experience points total, which is just ridiculous. I don't even know. I don't think that'll be enough to level up Gloom, actually. I'm not sure. No, it's not. So yeah, it's a really nice place, though. I'd really recommend you giving it a try. Going down here, though, you can actually find an Ether right here. An Ether. Just don't really know how they're pronounced, but they're pronounced one way or another. And we're going to keep moving. We're going to go down and fight this guy. The bike is really going to help speed up our adventure. We're going to be able to get through things so much faster now that we have this bike. Like, I have been wanting a different thing to do other than just simple walking for this entire adventure, so that's why I would really recommend the bike, because there are no running shoes in this game. You're going to be walking at the same pace for the entire game unless you get that bike. Plus the bike adds some more areas to the game, which makes it really interesting. And finally, Gloom is learning the move I've wanted it to learn for ages, Acid. Acid is a pretty decent poison type attack, and it's a really good move. I'm personally going to get rid of Sleep Powder for it because we already have Drowsy for putting things to sleep. So we're going to get rid of Sleep Powder and we're going to learn Acid. Gloom finally learning a poison type attack is really, really good, especially because the next gym is a grass gym. And poison is super effective against grass, so Acid will be incredibly useful going into that. Obviously, since Gloom is also a poison type, it's been a long time coming for it to learn a poison move, and it's taken up until level 28. But you know what? I'm happy we finally got it. So now, back to the training. If we go forward here, there was actually no item, so taking the long road back, and we're going to go this way. We have, I believe, I think 3 more trainers to fight, and then we are at the rock tunnel. So let's keep it going. As we fight this bug catcher, I suppose I can talk about some encounters that we can find here. I believe there's only 1 new encounter here, although the things I put on the screen might prove me wrong here. But in the route, it may be this route, or maybe on the route at the end of these trainers, you can find the Pokemon Voltorb. And if you don't have a Pokemon that can learn Flash, and you don't really want to give it to one of your stationary team members, which I honestly wouldn't recommend because it's not very good. Like I believe it lowers the accuracy of the opponent, which is a useful move, but in terms of filling up a whole move slot for it, I don't think it's that good of an idea. So, and you only need it for the rock tunnel. You don't need it for anywhere else in the game. So, I would definitely recommend getting a spare Pokemon, because I doubt you'd have a full team by this point. But if you do, you'd probably just have to sacrifice one of your team members for. You just have to sacrifice one of your team members, unfortunately. We can go for Thrash here. It's going to do not too much damage, unfortunately, but it's the best move that Nidoking has against this Geodude, because for some reason it can't learn Dig. Can I get one more before I go confused? Okay, good. So Geodude doesn't go down because of that defense curl. Wait, do I not get confused? Oh, no, I do. It just didn't tell me I got confused. Okay. That's great. Thanks, game, for not telling me that I got confused. I mean, I had a feeling I got confused, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, Voltorb is it's an electric type. It has a fair amount of speed considering it's just a ball. Like, we'll get to it later because spoiler alert, I'm gonna catch one because I need something for Flash. I think Hypno can learn Flash and probably Gloom as well. But I know for a fact that that Voltorb can definitely learn Flash. In fact, I'm sure most electric types can learn Flash. So I'm going to be catching one for that purpose. And I'd recommend you guys do the same if you guys need a Flash user. So we'll probably be catching one of those off screen, I think, because I don't think we'll have the time after we finish up these trainers, because this episode's already gone on for a fairly lengthy amount of time. And I don't want it to get too long, so we'll finish up after we take care of this trainer, and probably one more, because I know there's one more at the very end that we haven't gone to yet. But they shouldn't be too much of a challenge at all, especially when we have Nidoking out in the front. This girl only has one Pokemon, and it is a Meowth. We don't need to think about Meowth. In terms of how useful Voltorb is, honestly, it's not that good. Its level up moves are pretty subpar. You could give it Thunderbolt, so like if you need something to give Thunderbolt to and you're not planning on using a Jolteon later. I mean, I would definitely recommend giving Thunderbolt to Voltorb in that case, because, I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with giving it a decent electric type move. It'll definitely help you out with no problems. Other than that though, there's nothing really interesting about it other than the fact that it has decent speed. So I mean, you can use it if you want. If you're in need of an electric type and Jolteon doesn't really feel you, like you're not really feeling Jolteon. I can recommend I can recommend Voltorb if you didn't pick up a Pikachu or you're not planning on picking up a Jolteon. But it's not that good. Like if you want a challenge, sure, but eh. Anyways, let's take out Clefairy, and with one critical hit, we get the level up to. And of that, our quest to the Rock Tunnel is finished. Before we move on, there is a Pokemon Center here which I would recommend you use, because you definitely want to heal up your team before going in here. This is a pretty lengthy dungeon, and I know for a fact that I got stuck on it quite a lot as a kid. But if we go here, there is a hidden Super Potion right here behind this tree, so definitely pick that up because that'll be exceptionally useful. And for now, we're going to go in here and we're going to heal up our team. So, with that, next time on Pokemon Red, we're going to be taking on our next dungeon, and we're going to be trying to find our way out so we can progress with the story to the next gym. I'll see you guys then.